I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be trying Dollar Tree medication from the world's biggest Dollar Tree. My goodness, this world's biggest Dollar Tree just makes me feel right where I need to be, right at home. And right down here is something I've been looking for. I've yet to find this anywhere else. Now I have what is probably my most requested medication you guys have been asking for. The Laxative. So I haven't seen this before, I don't think. Value Meds, Senna-S, Docusate sodium 50 milligram, and Senna-Sides 8.6 milligram. Now, this is kind of important. Docusate supposedly is a stool softener, and the Senna-Sides is like what you would actually consider to be a laxative. Docusate, we have found in the medical community, does absolutely nothing, but we still use it all the time. I see doctors prescribing it all the time, even though they know it doesn't do anything. But here we are as a community, it's just what we do. So whenever we buy Senna-S, we're really just buying the Senna. It does come on its own, as without the Docusate, but they didn't have it at the Dollar Tree, and nobody really cares because it just really doesn't matter. And there's 60 tablets here. That's a really good quantity. I use this all the time in my real job. This is a good quantity for $1.25. I've seen, I think brand name Senna-Cot S is like $20 for 60 tablets or something like that. It's ridiculous. Right here. And the directions are pretty interesting here. For adults, you can take 2 tablets once a day, and the maximum is 4 tablets twice a day. Rarely do we ever see anyone taking more than 2 tablets a day, though. And here's just the package instructions. The dose is correct, by the way. This doesn't come in any other way. You can buy pure Docusate at, I think, 100 milligram and 250. You actually can buy Senna, I think, at like a 24 milligram, but this is the standard. This is the thing that most people use most of the time. And this company, oh my goodness, would you look at that? Spirit Pharmaceuticals and Ronkonkoma. Value Meds. It's the same company as, I forget its name right now, but it's the same, wow. Does it say product of India on here? It does not. It's still within the expiration date. Wow, so they're just repackaging this then, probably. The inside package is more the same. It's just the exact same information. Oh my gosh. That's supposed to come out. A very chemically smell. S35. So I've actually been having some difficulty going to the bathroom, so I am going to take 2 of these right now and see how it works. With laxatives, including the ones I just took, the most important one, I shouldn't say most important part, but the really relevant part to people is how long it takes to work. Sometimes they do take days. For the one I just took there, it takes about 6 to 12 hours, so I'll have to check back in later. But in the meantime, I want to show you guys something really, really interesting. So the Docusate portion of this is literally just soap. It's just soap. And I'll prove it to you. Okay, I have a container here, and I'm going to put a couple of these pills in. That should be enough. I put just a little bit of water in here. I'm not even kidding, like 2 seconds ago, and you can tell it's already changing color. By the way, this is a pretty good representation of what happens whenever you take pills in the body. So they're designed specifically to dissolve in water, or I guess stomach acid rather, just any liquid. I mean, it's only been like less than a minute, and it's already mostly dissolved. And look how much soap is on the top just from me shaking it like this. It makes those bubbles in there. It's a surfactant, right? And I have done that with pure Docusate capsules before, and the soap is even more like it. You can tell it's like actually liquid soap is all it is. But yeah, that is how it supposedly works. It creates that barrier around the bathroom. As always, if you enjoyed this, feel free to stick around. I love it whenever I get to interact with you guys. So it's been about 8 hours, and I felt a little rumbly in my tummy, and I mean, it worked, so you can chalk that down as one that actually works. And that's a really good deal too, 60 tablets for $1.25. That's one of the better prices I've seen at Dollar Tree. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be looking at a Dollar Tree medication from the world's biggest Dollar Tree. Every time I come here, I get so excited. It's so big. Okay, so this is something I've seen in other stores, but I haven't seen a Dollar Tree version yet. I'm really excited to take a look at this. Okay, looks like I got another interesting medication to review here. The Blistex Lip Medics Lip Protectant External Analgesic. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it does have an NDC on there. Not the best color scheme, but it is on there. Wow, I am very impressed with this so far. Lip Medics relieves sore lips and restores moisture balance. Quickly cools and comforts. And it alliterates. We have an alliterating package designer here. This is probably a Harvard, maybe Yale graduate from a liberal arts school who knows how to alliterate, who designed this. Net weight 0.25 ounces. I've been fooled with that before. That's virtually nothing, but let's see how it works here. Well, let's look at the directions. Okay, so here's what's actually in it. Camphor, 1%, menthol, 1%, petrolatum. That's petrolatum, by the way. It's not petroleum. I get so tired of correcting people on that. Different chemical. And then phenol, 0.54%. Okay, so camphor, I'm very familiar with. I know that works. That's in Sarna, I think, or Sarna Sensitive. It's like an anti-itching lotion. Menthol, we've looked at 1,000 times. You know, that's good stuff. Petrolatum, that's really not even a medication per se. It's more like the base that they put it in, but I guess it's listed as a active ingredient for some reason. And phenol is good stuff. I want to see a higher percentage of phenol though. That's only 0.54%. There's like a throat spray that you can put, you know, if you have like sore throat, and that's like 1.4% phenol, I think, and that stuff really works well. So with that in mind, I'm really excited about this product. Okay, so for temporary relief of pain, acting associated with lip irritation, protects, relieve chapped, cracked lips, good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Okay, Blistex. This is in Oak Brook, Illinois. Oak Brook. Do we got any lads or lasses here from Oak Brook, Illinois? I need to know. Show yourself, Goward. Look at that. And active ingredients: beeswax, benzyl alcohol. Okay. All right, let's get into it. That was honestly very satisfying. Comes apart pretty easy. It's got the lot number on there. It didn't see an expiration date anywhere, by the way. So I don't know if this is expired or not. Should I report this to the company? Okay, let's get in here. doesn't have the best look to it. It doesn't smell like too bad. You can definitely smell a little hint of honey. I like that. I have a little bit on my finger here. I do have a little bit of a sore on my one lip, on my one side of my lip here. So let's see how this feels. It's like a little bit of a less viscous chapstick is what it feels like. Yeah, I can definitely feel the cooling sensation there. It's taking effect now. It's cooling so much, it almost kind of hurts. It's a very, very weird sensation. It's been a couple minutes and I can still feel the soothing sensation on the outside of my lip. And that's from this product here. And what's really important is this is my all-time favorite product from Dollar Tree. This is benzocaine 20%, and this goes on the inside of the mouth. And this is what I can tell you about these two. This one is going to work. It's a lot stronger. It works a lot better, but it doesn't last very long. Part of the reason is because you're putting it on the inside of your lip, you know? This one, it still works. It's just not as strong, but it lasts a lot longer. Like, I can feel this a long time, or a lot longer than this one. So what I would say, if something on the outside of your mouth or lip is hurting you, probably go with this one. You don't have to apply it as much. If something is on the inside, this is the one you want. As always, thanks for sticking around. Feel free to follow if you enjoy this. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be trying an exquisite Dollar Tree medication. Guys, I think they got a new shipment in because there's a bunch of unique products I've never seen here before. Oh my goodness, yet another sleeping item. Sleep aid. Oh, no surprise there. Diphenhydramine. What else is new? My goodness. I'm actually not really even excited to do this one. I am so sick of diphenhydramine at this point, but let's do this anyway. Value RX Sleep Aid. Once again, diphenhydramine 25 milligram. The only difference that I see here is these are soft gels, so they come in these purple little guys here. It says non-have it for me here, by the way. Not for treating pain, cold, or flu, just for sleeping. Interesting. Now, as we know, this is the same active ingredient in Benadryl, or, it's diphenhydramine 25 milligram. Let's see where this was made. Well, let's check the expiration. Still within the expiration date. That's always good to see. We got distributed by Shield Pharmaceuticals Corp. in Hapagua, New York. Made in India. I'm not even going to ask. I know that's probably on Long Island. Let's get in here and see what they look like. We've got these little blister packets here. Peel back and push through. I have to see if these are squishy. Oh! Okay, no pushing needed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, they're so squishy. I feel like I could pop this. Okay, they're very sturdy. Geez, I gotta hand it to them. Those are some pretty sturdy capsules. Let's see if they actually work, though. Did you notice that, by the way, they come in 2 packs. There's 2 in each little blister pack. So there's 25 milligram each, and the directions say to take 2. So let's see what happens. Okay, I don't really know why I tried to raw dog that without any water, but here we are now, so let's see how this works. It's about midnight where I live, and I'm just laying down to see if I can fall. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if I actually fell asleep just middle of the sentence? Okay, I'm kidding, but for real, let's go to bed and see how this works. Okay, it's the next beautiful day, and I mean, of course it works. If you've ever tried diphenhydramine before, like, you know, it'll make your nasal passages a little bit more dry, and it'll make you tired, but it won't make you sleepy. That's my biggest gripe with diphenhydramine. It doesn't really make you sleepy like melatonin does, and that distinction is pretty important for anyone who struggles with sleep. So I'm still a melatonin guy. I think that's the one I prefer, but I mean, it definitely did the job. It does exactly what any other diphenhydramine product would do. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today I'm going to be trying an amazing Dollar Tree medication. All right, I've taken so many sleeping medications, now I need to find one to keep me awake. And here we go. Folks, I am so sick of taking sleeping pills. Thank goodness we have something else here. Stay Awake by Value RX. Compared to Vivarium. Ooh, that's a cool sounding name. Maximum strength. Stay Awake Caffeine 200 milligram alertness aid. Caffeine for mental alertness equal to about a cup of coffee. 15 tablets. Okay. So it's caffeine 200 milligram. That's about the dose that you want. So that's appropriate. What are the directions here? I think it's every 4 hours. Yeah, it says for adults and children over 12, 1 tablet no more often than every 3 to 4 hours. So yeah, I was about right there. So, I mean, everybody's heard of caffeine, right? You know, this is an alertness aid. We'll talk about this more in a minute here. This is from Shield Pharmaceuticals in Hapagaqua, New York. I'm assuming that's Long Island. So for $1.25, you get 15. I mean, that's, you know, even though you can take it every 3 to 4 hours, I actually used to take caffeine when I was working night shift. You don't need it that often. I mean, twice in a shift, maybe. You really only need it once. Get into it. The inside packaging, par for the course, is virtually exactly the same. It says D4, Division 4, the worst type of athletic conference you could be in. Okay, let's give this a shot and see if it turns me into a Division 4 athlete. I'm on top of the world, I swear. Need to go find some skate parks to plunder. I'm just kidding. No, it's fine. I mean, you definitely feel it, you know. Everybody's probably had coffee or whatever at some point. You know, I was feeling a little bit tired today, so that's why I took it, and to see if it helped at all. And it did. You know, I feel a little bit more alert. And one thing is really, really odd about caffeine, especially when we're taking higher doses like that. Caffeine is a very dirty medication, meaning it has several different mechanisms of action. So it's actually a diuretic, so it'll make you go to the bathroom a little bit more. And ironically, because it's a diuretic, it also, like, you know, you increase your mineral levels, including uric acid. If you guys don't know, that plays a role in gout, you know, like painful swelling of the toe. But it's also a xanthine oxidase inhibitor, meaning it reduces the amount of uric acid in your body as well. So there's different mechanisms that work against each other and stuff, and it's just, that's why we don't really use it. It actually does have some potential benefit, but you for one thing that you solve with it, you create other problems. So that's why we really don't ever use caffeine hardly. But yeah, if you're not worried about the going to the bathroom issues and stuff, I mean, it definitely does work. Like, I definitely do feel more alert and awake. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today I'm going to be trying a very weird Dollar Tree medication. All right, we've been neglecting the eyeballs lately, and I saw an eye product I want to check out. So down here, it's just a little eye drop thing. Appears to be an artificial tears product. I came home and I completely forgot what I bought, so let's see. Oh, the eye drops. Okay, so this is like Visine, it says. Eye drops. In case you were wondering, these are eye drops. My goodness. Relieves red and irritated eyes. Advanced. Okay, so what do we got here? Dextran 70, that's 0.1%. That's the eye lubricant. Polyethylene glycol 400, 1%, also eye lubricant. Apparently you need two. Povidone 1% eye lubricant. Tetrahydrolysine 0.05% eye redness relief. Okay, interesting. I like this so far. Here we go. United Exchange Corp, Cypress Hill, California. Insane in the membrane. Made in South Korea. We have not seen South Korea yet. That's interesting. Haven't seen them on the map yet. I wonder what North Korean medication is like. Like this video and comment if you want me to go to Pyongyang, North Korea and review their over-the-counter medications. Alright, so you can see the same medications out here. So basically this is what I'm looking at as a pharmacist. Lubricant, alpha agonist, vasoconstrictor. So basically, according to me, there's only one active ingredient in this. And the instructions are 1 to 2 drops into affected eye 4 times a day. And this is for the relief of redness of the eye irritation, protecting against eye irritation and dryness. Interesting. Let's open this up. Oh, it's got a little thumb boy here. It's got the same information, still within the expiration date. Oh, little snap cap there. How do you open this thing? I need an adult. Okay, am I stupid? Am I the dumbest person in the world? Update, I'm not stupid. I just didn't have the right angle. Yeah, okay. Oh no. So my one eye actually has been bothering me a little bit lately. I think it's because of the remaining pollen in the area. So I want to try this out and see if it helps like kind of eliminate some of the redness. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I definitely do feel a little bit of a soothing feeling from all those lubricants. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel it already. So the directions say 1 to 2 drops 4 times a day, and I just put 1 drop in, and it's been about an hour, and I'm gonna go look at my eye in the mirror. I mean, I feel like that looks pretty clear to me. I'm gonna give that product a thumbs up. I think that's really good, and it's super cheap too, for only $1.25. I think that's probably one of the better ones I've seen. Definitely for an eye lubricant, or just like a, basic eye drop. I think that's a really good one. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today I'm going to be trying a very gassy medication. And I found a standard for any gas relief needs. Down here, it's called simethicone is the active ingredient. Why is there 2 different color lids? Whatever, I'll just get this one. Okay, I got a pretty standard one here today. How's everyone's gas doing? So this is from Certified Plus. Ooh, we got an NDC. I haven't seen an NDC in a while. Simethicone for gas relief, anti-flatulent, mint flavored. Ew, I am not excited about that. 36 chewable tablets. Love that there's an NDC. I've come across this company before, and they seem to make pretty good stuff. So these are 80 milligram. The dosing for simethicone is very weird. There's like 80, there's like, I think 100, maybe 120. We seem to can't figure out what the proper dose is anyway. Let's see what this says. 1 to 2 tablets as needed. Do not exceed 6 tablets per day unless directed by a doctor. Couldn't imagine anybody would need more than 6, my goodness. It is still within the expiration date. And these are our boys, Advanced Pharmaceuticals out of Holtzville, New York. Just gonna randomly assume that that's on Long Island. Am I crazy is there way more than 36 in here. Nope, 36 exactly. A unique design. Looks like a Freemason. Is this going to turn me into a Freemason? Doesn't that look like the Freemason logo? Okay, that could be either 610 or 019. You guys pick. I want to know which ones you guys decided in the comments. The cool thing about simethicone is it's like super safe. Like we give this to babies. There's a baby formula for it. And it's for gas in the stomach. Okay, people sometimes get that confused. Like if you have the other type of gas, this is not going to help. This is like if you need to burp. And I'm actually feeling a little bit bloated right now, and I want to see if this helps me. Oh, they're chewable, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned. Okay, the taste isn't that bad. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say it's good, but I'm not a fan of mint, and it has a very light mint taste to it. It's not bad at all. It worked. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be looking at an exquisite Dollar Tree medication. Oh my goodness, we got some new products I'm excited to look at. This is something that I was surprised I never saw earlier. Oh, the saline nasal spray. Let's take this home and look at it. Guys, this next one I have been looking for so long. I was so shocked that I never found it at a Dollar Tree before. I'm not even kidding. I actually reached out to a manufacturer to make my own. But, of course, that dream is now gone because they have it. So this is saline nasal spray. Now, I really like this product, and I'll explain why. So it relieves dry, irritated nasal passages. It's safe for frequent use, non-medicated. That's what I'm talking about. 1.5 fluoral ounces. My goodness, I don't even know if you could ever use this much. So let's look at the medication facts. It's just sodium chloride, 0.65%. Now, if you don't know, that is salt. That is just table salt. I tried to get just like a package of salt to show you, but it actually only says sodium here. It doesn't say sodium chloride. Over here it says sodium, but trust me, this is the same thing. It's sodium chloride. Now, why do they use sodium chloride if it's not an actual medication? Well, as it turns out, sodium chloride does a pretty good job of mimicking like blood and tears and everything. Just biological mediums are pretty well mimicked by just salt and water in the right tonicity, in the right concentration. So this is 0.65%. I really don't know how they came to that number. 0.9% sodium chloride is very similar to like blood, for example. So this isn't really being absorbed at all, so the percentage really doesn't matter, but this is the standard for this type of product, so whatever, let's try it out. So this is for if you have a really stuffy nose, okay? And I think this is one of the best. A lot of the medications like Sudafed, for example, they have side effects of keeping you up. It's difficult to sleep if you take Sudafed. They work pretty well. So does Benadryl, by the way. But this is the best, in my opinion, because you're actually getting all that gunk out of your nose. A couple concerned viewers instructed me to slice away from me, so that's what I'll do now. By the way, I forgot to mention this is from our boys at United Exchange Corp in Cypress Hill, California, but it was made in China. So I have had some stuffiness in my one nostril, and I want to try this out and see if it helps. Yep, that tastes like salt. Wow, I'm not going to show you that, but it definitely worked. In a country that's generally speaking very over-medicated, sometimes we forget that simply just getting the gunk out of your nose with a washing mechanism is better than any medication. So that's something I highly recommend. For $1.25, I mean, you're not going to really use more than that, honestly. You can definitely find it cheaper at Walmart or somewhere for a larger quantity, but you just really don't need that much. So you might as well get the Dollar Tree version, in my opinion. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be trying a medication that I've been wanting to try for you guys. What I'm looking for is something called DocuSate, and it's for a very specific reason, and it's not what you think. Look at how insane this is. These are all DocuSate, every single one of them. Now, which one do you buy? It's a trick question. You don't buy any of them. I'm just buying one today for a specific reason. I'll show you in a minute. Well, well, well. If it isn't my arch nemesis. Stool Softener DocuSate, 100 milligram. This is absolute junk. You should never, ever, ever buy DocuSate by itself. It does come in a combo pill with Senna. I use that pretty frequently. This by itself does absolutely nothing. This was $7 for 30 soft gels. This is a scam. And you know what's really fun about this? If you look at these, it looks, the capsules, and we'll see here soon, are one color on one side and one color on the other. I don't know why they do that. I think it's the same company making the same DocuSate for every single pharmacy in America. If you go to Rite Aid and you get their brand, it'll look exactly the same. But it really doesn't do anything at all. And we all know this, but yet we still keep using it. I don't really know why. That was a loud pop. I'm literally the most awkward person ever. Now, what am I supposed to do with all these worthless medications? I'll show you. I've done this before, and a lot of people were telling me that I need to poke 2 holes in it so that it can draw out. Okay, guys, that's not why it's not drawing out. It's not drawing out because it just doesn't fit in the syringe. I have 2 holes poked in it right now. But why I did that is I want the liquid out of it, so I'm going to squeeze some of it out. Interesting, I never knew that was red. Okay, so we have a little bit there. Now, this is why I bought this. I'm going to touch this. And whenever I put this on my finger, you can feel exactly what it is. Does anyone know yet? Here, let's poke a couple more and put them in this cup. Whoops. Well, okay, so we got 2.5 in there. Now I'm just gonna add some water. Look at that. Bubbles for days. DocuSate is just soap. It's all it is. Now, I wouldn't recommend using this as hand soap because it does have a little bit of a different texture to it. So DocuSate is a surfactant. If you look at the molecule of it, it has a very hydrophobic tail and a very hydrophilic center to it. And it's supposedly, I mean, this is like soap, right? So you can imagine that in theory it sounds great. It would, provide lubricant over the stool, draw water in perhaps, and make it easier to pass. But unfortunately, just in practice, it just doesn't do anything. So that's an absolute scam of a medication, and it's incredibly expensive. There's no reason why that needs to cost, what was it, $7 for 30 capsules? That's insane. That's absolutely nuts. What people want to know is, well, what should I use then? Miralax. Polyethylene glycol is the chemical name. That's what virtually every pharmacist will recommend. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be trying some of the Dollar Tree medications. I got something for folks who itch today. Alright, I'm excited to look at this anti-itch cream. Okay, we got Carol as the manufacturer, extra strength, itch relief, temporary pain and itch relief for insect bites, minor burns, sunburn, rashes due to poison ivy, oak, sumac, and more. Okay, so this looks very, very similar to the claims made on the hydrocortisone package. But it says here histamine blocker, and indeed it is. This is diphenhydramine and zinc acetate. Looks like a pretty good size, 1.25 ounces. We'll see what that looks like later. But this is the anti-itch cream from Care-All. Expiration date seems to be fine. They do have the NDC code. It's on the back for some reason, but it is there. So this company is out of Nashville, it says, but it was made in India. But you can see the percentage here, diphenhydramine 2%, oh that's a good percentage, and zinc acetate 0.1%. It says apply 3 to 4 times a day. I'm not a fan of this product actually, and I'm not going to recommend it. I'm still going to take it home and look at it, but the reason why is because diphenhydramine, in order to be effective, has to be absorbed. And if you're applying this topically, it's not going to be absorbed at all. Your skin intentionally acts as a barrier to keep chemicals out. That's why it's there. That's why God made it that way, you know. So to formulate a medication to get through the skin, it's very, very difficult. And diphenhydramine is not going to get through the skin. I'm still going to take it home and try it though, but I would not recommend this. Also, for all my pharmacy and chemistry nerds, you are losing your mind right now that they do not have a leading 0 in front of that 0.1. Okay, anti-itch cream, suggesting that it will help with itching. It's diphenhydramine and zinc acetate. And I'm not really a fan of this product, but we'll see here. We'll see how it feels. The reason I mentioned earlier was because the diphenhydramine probably is not going to be absorbed to any meaningful extent. Remember, your skin is specifically designed so chemicals can't get in. That's the point of the organ. So it takes a lot of preparation and care to get a medication through the skin. This is 1.25 ounces. I mean, that's a whole profession. It's called pharmaceutics. We have medications like fentanyl. Like, if you've ever seen a fentanyl patch, I mean, that is just a pharmaceutical novel device. It's not easy to get that drug into your skin, and the way those patches are made, it's high level science just to get that through your skin. So something like this, just a cream, it's probably not going to be too effective. I don't think so. Not for this particular medication. By the way, it also depends on the medication. Some chemicals can pass through easier than others. Like I said before, I don't think this one is going to do much, really. It does feel nice. I mean, if anything, you'll get a soothing effect. I don't have any really reason to use this right now, so I'm just going to feel a little bit and see how it feels. It's pretty oily. Maybe it's not the best feeling substance in the world. People ask me frequently, well, if you don't recommend the topical diphenhydramine, then what do you recommend? And the answer is, if you have a true rash, if you have an actual rash and it's actually itching you, then you want to take oral diphenhydramine or one of the other antihistamines such as tyrosine. A lot of people don't really like diphenhydramine these days. I still do. That's just my opinion. But that is the best way to combat something like that. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be trying some of the Dollar Tree medications. I have a really interesting one for you guys today. A lot of folks have been asking about this psoriasis relief thing, so let's take a look at it. We got Sheffield Pharmaceuticals in the house. Wow, never heard of them before. What's it say here? 5-point quality tested and approved. Independent laboratory. Learn more at sheffieldpharma.com. I don't know why those have asterisks next to them, but maybe I'll find out later. We got the Broad Street Bullies in New London, Connecticut. Okay, interesting. And I love this label. They're very truthful. It says made in USA of US and important ingredients and components. Mad respect for them for being truthful. I'm so happy to see that. There was a company not too long ago that got nailed by the FDA. Actually, I think there was a couple of them because they were claiming that their products were made in America, and like, I don't know, 99% of the ingredients came from abroad. And the FDA is like, you can't say it's made in America then. But this company is very truthful. They say they're using imported ingredients. They have an NDC code there. I'm liking this company already. I'm going to look them up later. Since 1850? Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm going to try to zoom in there. Can you see the expiration date? It's very difficult to read, and it almost looks like it's expired, but it isn't. It's just written very, very weird. You have until 2026 until that's expired. Alright, psoriasis relief, that's 2% salicylic acid. Now, does anyone know what salicylic acid is, or what it's similar to, rather? It's a 1 ounce package tube, by the way. Acetylsalicylic acid is actually aspirin. So salicylic acid is very, very similar, just doesn't have the acetyl group. If you Google the images of these two chemicals, they look very, very similar, and they work in the same way. Salicylic acid is also an anti-inflammatory NSAID, but it also apparently has some like kind of dissolving properties to it. So that's 2% salicylic acid. I can't really speak to that being a good percentage or not. I really don't know. What's the directions say here? It says 1 to 4 times a day, or as directed. And then you can see the list of ingredients as well. I'm not really too familiar with that product. I'm going to take it home and look at it. Based on what I know about aspirin, though, I don't think I'd be too excited to try it, but I am really excited to open it up and take a look at this company. Okay, psoriasis relief from Sheffield Pharmaceuticals. I'm interested to look at this one. They have their NDC displayed proudly here. A lot of people were asking about that. This is like a drug's social security number, the national drug code. It actually tells you the first part is the manufacturer, the second part is the actual active ingredient itself, and then the third part is the package size. So you can identify pretty much everything from that number. And that's like them saying, you know, this is us, this is what we're all about. So I like seeing it displayed there. This is salicylic acid, which is very, very similar to aspirin. Step 1 is to very gracefully open the package with elegance. Okay, pretty small tube here, 1 ounce. Okay. I am not really a fan of this already. The reason being is because this is like very similar to aspirin, and I'm just not a fan of aspirin altogether. And the second thing is, if you are actually going to use this for psoriasis, my goodness, you would need more than this, I would think. Does anyone here have psoriasis? Can anyone confirm? I feel like you're going to need a lot. Okay, so there's no childproof packaging. This is not tamper resistant. Is it? I mean, it has like this little hole here. Is that considered tamper resistant? Because you just open the bottle and pour out the med. I mean, apparently that does count because they've been here since 1850, so I would assume that that little hole counts as tamper resistant. I'm just used to seeing like the film over the orifice that you have to take off. I have mixed feelings about that one. So on one hand, the company looked really great to me, and then its other parts, they didn't look so great to me. Salicylic acid might help, you know, with the symptoms of psoriasis, getting those dead skin cells off your body, but it's not going to actually treat psoriasis. I mean, psoriasis is a autoimmune disease, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And it may help for acne a little bit, you know, that does have some anti-inflammatory properties, as well as, you know, it could help like dissolve some of the dirt and grime in there. I think one thing's for certain though, if you do want to use salicylic acid for like a psoriasis or an acne type condition, you would probably need way more than that, right? I mean, you're not going to have just like a small little spot. It's normally a pretty big spot, I would think. So I think for today, I'm going to say maybe if you want to try it out, buy it at the Dollar Tree and see how it works, and then move on to a bigger tube. I'm not really too confident it's going to help a whole lot, though. But I'd love to hear from you guys if anyone's tried it. As always, stick around. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today I'm going to be trying a Dollar Tree medication. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. These little green bottles have been something I've been wanting to try out for at least 10 days now. I've seen this product a few times, and I'm finally going to get a chance to look at it. Arthritis and Sport from LDN Labs. Winter green, Epsom salt plus alcohol for rubbing and soaking. Okay, now I've looked at this in similar products before. It does contain isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is not flammable at all. 0% flammable. I did a test on this before. It did not flame. The directions for this are really quite sus. For use with massage, apply liberally and massage into painful areas to relieve muscle aches. It doesn't tell you how much or how often. For use as a soak, pour liberally into warm as comfortable for the individual. Water and sit back and relax. Exclamation point. Very unprofessional. It's more like a suggestion than directions, really. But anyway, I don't care. It says it's flammable on the bottle. That's the only thing I care about. I got my gargoyles and my safety lab coat on, and I wanted to try it in a spray bottle this time. Last time I tried to light this on fire, everybody said it needs to be, well, they kept saying the word atomized. I don't think this actually atomizes anything, but it increases the specific surface area by making the particles, smaller. So I think that's actually going to work. And they also mentioned it needing to be in a dark place because whenever isopropyl alcohol burns, it's a very, transparent flame. So I'm going to take it outside in a shady area and see what we can do. Fill me up, maestro. This smells like Copenhagen wintergreen. I wonder if this stuff would actually help my hurt elbow. I guess we'll never know. All right, ready? I could put this out. Look, it's putting it out. It's not flammable. It's just not. If you're looking for a budget-friendly fire extinguisher, this is pretty good. You just put it in a spray bottle. It's really good at extinguishing fires. I think that's pretty clear. Whenever I was looking at the bottle, it does say flammable on the back, but it doesn't tell you the concentration of the isopropyl alcohol. So I hypothesized that it wasn't concentrated enough to catch flame, and I think that pretty much proves it. Unless somebody else has even more suggestions, I would like to hear them. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today I'm going to be comparing 2 really expensive products. There's a lot of confusion with these 2 products I'm going to show you guys here today. This hurts my pharmacist soul. I have to get one of these here. Look, the generic is only $3.28. And for the same quantity, it'd be somewhere in between here. So let's call it like $12 for the brand name. My goodness. But I have to get one of these, so I'll get this one. My goodness, this one's even worse. $18, you gotta be kidding. And they have a generic. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna get this one. You'll see why here in a moment. My pharmacist's soul has been crushed by the simple fact that I bought these 2 products today. I hope that this message reaches whoever needs to see it. Folks, take a look at this product. What does this say? Diclofenac sodium topical gel 1%. It's an NSAID, arthritis pain reliever. What does this say? Diclofenac sodium topical gel 1%. It's the same chemical and the same percentage. It's the exact same thing. But these had 2 different prices, and the tubes are exactly the same quantity, 50 gram here and 50 gram there. What was really weird about this is that there was a Walmart off-brand version of both of these. They're the same thing, yet Walmart had 2 different packages for the exact same thing. What I'd like you guys to learn about this is that although not technically true, this is how I want you to think about this. Voltaren is the company that makes diclofenac. Aspercreme is the company that makes diclofenac. Now, I know that's not technically correct. This is actually made by GlaxoSmithKline, and this is made by Sanofi, is actually who makes this. It's difficult for people outside of our profession to understand this. So that's how I want you to think of it. This is particularly true with Aspercreme because people will say, I want Aspercreme. Well, okay, there's like 17,000 different products that they make, so I don't know what you mean. And they just assume that because they're only familiar with Aspercreme, let's say lidocaine, that that's the only product that they make, but there's many, many of them. I am gonna try one of these because my elbow still hurts. Here's the instructions. Like anyone would ever read that. This is pretty neat, actually. Diclofenac comes with this card. You're supposed to use this as a measuring device. So let's measure out, let's do an upper body dose. Let's give this a potato whirl. Oh my gosh, this is so awkward. Is that what you're supposed to do? Just slather it on there, I guess? So you can use this up to 4 times a day, by the way. I don't really typically recommend this. I don't think it does anything. The reason being is because diclofenac being an NSAID is not something that's going to pass through the skin. And despite what you may think, it has to get through your skin to inhibit the enzyme that it blocks. So it's a COX inhibitor, right? And if my old preceptor were here right now, he would say, where do you keep your COX enzymes? I keep mine on my in the inside of my body. So it doesn't do anything unless it gets absorbed, which it really isn't absorbed very much at all. I actually did look into this, and so there is some benefit to it. There's clinical studies that show that it's better than placebo. So I mean, I wouldn't totally discredit it, but for me, I'm a lidocaine fan. That's the one I typically recommend. It's been like an hour and doesn't feel any better at all. I don't feel anything. Not a fan. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and today we're going to be looking at some of the medication facts we learned from last month. So in July, I posted pretty much every single day, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I read all of your comments, and there's a couple things that were very, very interesting that you guys noticed. First, we have to navigate to my home in native. All of these things are the same. All of them. And in fact, there's one that's missing here. There's a children's allergy relief, a diphenhydramine liquid, which is the same thing as this, except it doesn't contain alcohol. All of them have the same active ingredient. Diphenhydramine 25 milligram, diphenhydramine 25 milligram, diphenhydramine 25 milligram. Some have packaging and labeling for sleep, and some have for allergies. You can use either one for either indication. You just have to have it dosed correctly. That's the important part. That's the main difference. The package has different directions for different indications. Now, another really interesting thing we saw is that aspirin comes in 325 milligram and 81 milligram. The reason for that is the 81 milligram, for whatever reason, is based on an old apothecary unit called a grain, and there's 1 1/4 grains in 81 milligram. There's also 5 grains equals 325 milligrams. So that's why they have such weird random doses. I don't know, it's just a relic of years past, I guess. The 81 milligram is good for preventing stroke, but it's only if you've had a stroke before. There's no reason for you to just start taking this randomly. So I say this is worthless unless a doctor tells you to take it. You'll also see on the package it's for headaches and pain relief, but aspirin is horrible for both. And as some of the viewers mentioned, it's actually used in preeclampsia as well. I don't see it here today, but they actually have a pill that has caffeine and aspirin in one pill. I saw that caffeine actually boosts the effectiveness of the aspirin. That's why they put it in one pill. And that's actually a tactic we use sometimes. We actually take advantage of medication interactions to increase the efficacy of something. There's quite a few prescription medications that do that. But in this case, I don't think it's really doing anything. The caffeine increases the aspirin by about 20%, which is nothing. And it doesn't do anything to begin with, so it's kind of like, why are we doing this, folks? For the next part of medication facts we learned in July, I have to switch locations here to Costco. When I perish from this earth, Bury me in the Costco medication aisle. You can buy 1,000 Tylenol for 1 cent each. People kept asking, why do you need so many Tylenol? And the answer is, mind your own business. Nah, I'm just kidding. It actually does make sense. There are some people who can take up to 8 tablets a day, and for someone who has chronic pain, that would be 120 days supply. So it makes a lot of sense financially if you're somebody who takes Tylenol, or acetaminophen rather, very frequently to buy it here. A lot of people were asking if acetaminophen is the same thing as paracetamol, what the people over in Europe call it. And the answer is also yes. And if you want to know why, it's because America is correct and everybody else is wrong. Red, white, and blue, these colors don't run. No, I'm just kidding. I have no clue. I saw there's this theory about the name being confusing, and I could point to you several different examples of where our naming in America for our medications are very confusing. So that's not true. I really don't know. If anyone has any guesses, let me know. Comment. I read your comments. We also learned that a guy in Chicago in the 80s poisoned a bunch of people by slipping cyanide into a bunch of Tylenol bottles. That was the thing. It happened. Whenever you see terms like rapid release or gel cap or coated caplet, well, coated is a little bit different, but especially for rapid release and these gel cap things, those are scams. Liquid gel, okay, also a scam. Those prey on, I guess, the assumption that the general public makes that it's going to be absorbed quicker and faster. That's not how medications work. Those marketing techniques kind of prey on assumptions that the general public makes that if something dissolves quicker, it'll be absorbed quicker, and that's just not true. The rate limiting step is getting from the stomach to the GI tract where the medication actually is absorbed. So if something dissolves quicker, it doesn't really matter, just as long as it is dissolved before it gets to the GI tract. Hello. I just wanted to say that I'm excited to try this. I've been getting a lot of really supportive comments from many people asking me to try my hand at ASMR. Ah, you wanted to read it too. How much I appreciate all of your support. Coconut. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I said I don't know if I'm doing it right. Is it better if I talk in this voice whenever I'm doing ASMR? See, these things I don't know yet. I'm just learning. Can you hear the flame? Oh, I wanted to take these off too. Oh no! Oh well. Let me just inspect a little bit here. First, we'll do your left. My nails aren't long enough to do that. Now, I just wanted to see what it would feel like if I did this. Can you tell that my voice is a little bit different whenever I bring it this close to the microphone? What if I oscillate them? What happens if I do this? I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this before. Yes, you just have to believe me whenever I say this is my first time. Was that weird? I hope we never find out. I just wanted to take some time to talk about an instrumental value that has been surfacing in my life. It's like I can't go any farther than what I have been, at least not without addressing something that has been so, how do I put this? A little bit more than a fabrication, but a little bit less than the truth, if you understand. And thank goodness I found this. This is the one thing that really made me want to jump to the next level. I should just lick these, right? Okay, let's see if I want.